OCPA has put out a proposal to completely phase out the income tax in 10 years. Part of that is based or requires essentially eliminating many or most of the tax credits and exemptions that are currently being offered. You sit on the tax credit and incentive task force. They're meeting tomorrow as we're recording this. What do you see as being the possibility of that happening, that most of those tax credits going away, or do you see more maybe incremental changes?
Well, there's nothing stronger in this building than the status quo, right? And so I would like to see a lot of the incentives be sunset. All of them actually I think should be sunset, so they have to prove their case over and over. I think there's agreement amongst the task force that they all be sunset. I think there's agreement that there's too many incentives on the books, some that aren't working that need to go away forever, and some that are beneficial to our economy and to job growth. So with the status quo being what it is, I think it's going to be difficult to remove all of the incentives. In fact, I don't think it would be judicious to remove all of the incentives. I think some are working for us, some are creating jobs and wealth in the state. And so I understand that when there's a think tank, I mean, they're going to be more ideologically driven and they're going to have more of a purity kind of motive. I don't think that's the way that we can operate. I think we have to be real, look at reality, look at what other states are doing, and recognize that we compete with other states. So we don't make policy in a vacuum, and we have some laudable goals, I think, to reduce the income tax further. We need to continue on that track. And so we'll let the legislative process work and see where we end up.
Do you foresee, let's say, 10 years from now, will there still be a state income tax, do you think, or will we be on the path of eliminating it, or will it be eliminated altogether? What is the more likely scenario in your mind?
Gosh, I can't even predict what's going to happen next year, much less next 10 years. So I don't know. I think what most of us would say is we're for the gradual reduction of the state income tax. But we also want to make sure that we adequately fund the core services on which our citizens depend. And it's a tough balancing act to create the proper production incentives, to remove production penalties, which taxes are, but also still be able to fund core services.
One of those core services is, I guess, pensions. It's certainly an obligation, if not a core service. One of the hurdles to overcome if eliminating the income tax is your goal is that currently 5% of the income tax goes into the teacher's retirement system, which is the most underfunded or least fully funded. How do you see, is that an ultimate barrier to eliminating the income tax, the fact that teachers' retirement system is so woefully underfunded right now?
Well, no more than saying that 50% of our budget goes to education. And our largest source of revenue is the income tax. And so I don't think you can pick any one particular area and say we can't reduce the income tax because pensions depend on it. You could say that about education, you could say that about health, you could say that about public safety, you could say that about transportation. So what we have to do is find the right mix of taxation that encourages growth and is fair and equitable. I don't think that we have the perfect tax system today. I think if we were to design a tax system that would encourage productivity and growth, we wouldn't have the one that we have right now. So we do need to look at our taxes. This is a very necessary discussion that we're having, but there isn't a conclusion that can be drawn yet. We have to have a conversation. We have to continue on facts and data and get great ideas from a number of different sources and have those ideas verified and checked out by economists that do that line of work. And so the discussion is necessary, but it's beginning, it's not ending.